So let's begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to start with one of the core sections of F4, the UK law, which is Formation of Contract Part 1. Now, why am I calling this a core syllabus part of F4 is because this is all about contracts. Okay, when we are studying UK law, what kind of a law we are focusing on? Are we studying criminal law or are we studying any kind of civil law?
No, business law, corporations law.
Corporate law, like what all is involved in the corporate sector or business related, accounting related laws, because we are going to become accountants, right? So what we will be studying in this part is that all about the law which is related to the business sector or the corporate sector. And if we sum it up in one line, what do you understand that how the corporate sector and the law are going to connect? If I ask you, what would it be? How would you sum it up? Like, what would you say?
Like connecting the law and
Connecting the corporate sector, this business and the law. Like, for example, if I ask you that just sum up the work of a doctor in one word, what would you say? What does a doctor do, or what is he involved in?
health sector.
Health, or you can say body, human body,
Yeah,
right? He's involved with human body, anything related to human body that on a physical level, diseases, whether eyes, ears, nose, internal, external, whatever,
yeah,
whatsoever. A doctor means something to be done with the body. Now, if he is a
yeah,
human doctor, he'll be dealing with human body. If he is an animal doctor, he'll be dealing with animal body. Okay.
yeah.
So here, the law which we are studying about corporate sector, what is it dealing in? It's dealing in basically contracts. Why? Because what is a business doing? A business is doing transactions. A business
Yeah,
comprised of several thousands, lakhs, infinite number of transactions happening.
true.
So some transactions are happening verbally, some transactions are happening on a written basis, some transactions are happening on a promise, right? So there
Yeah,
are different transactions happening. And to what is backing these transactions? The contract.
the contract. Yeah,
It could be a verbal contract, it could be a written contract, it could be oral contract, it could be expressed or implied or whatever. Formal, informal, and मसला इन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स में ही तो आ रहा है. There is
true.
a dispute or there is a problem or there is a challenge between two parties.
That's right.
Maybe misunderstanding, maybe they are not fulfilling the terms and conditions, maybe they
Maybe wrong intentions.
wrong
Yeah,
intentions, anything. So law comes into action when there is a problem in the contract, when the parties are not agreeing with each other. So before we can understand what's the law behind these contracts, we need to understand what is a contract and what are the rules and conditions of get into a contract, and what can be done if we want to just escape from this contract, or just if we want to close the contract, how should we deal with it? So let's start. Definition of a contract. Now, see, again, I would say that this part is important because, first of all, this part comprises of a major part of your syllabus. Like at least 30 to 40% is all about contracts in F4. Okay. The rest 60% is then the rest of the topics which we are doing or which we will be doing. But the major part is the contract part. Why? Because there will be different scenarios. You'll be going through different laws that you'll be studying in this. And in most fascinating fact about it is that we don't see such contracts in Pakistan. Or even if they exist, we don't see the legal part of behind it.
that's right.
राइट बिकॉज आप देखो ना ट्रांजैक्शंस तो हो रही हैं. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट पाकिस्तान में ट्रांजैक्शंस ही नहीं हो रही हैं, रोजमर्रा के बेसिस पे हो रही हैं, on a personal level also and on a commercial level also. But the difference is that over here, we poor people, citizens of Pakistan, we are not given a strong backing by the law.
Yeah,
In case anybody comes and commits fraud with us, or maybe गलत बयानी करके कुछ करके ले जाए हमसे, we can't do, there is no one we can approach.
exactly. True that.
ओके, सो ये तो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की बात हो रही है, हमसे तो लोग फोन छीन के ले जाते हैं, हम कहीं कहाँ
Mm.
एफआईआर कटाने जाए, राइट?
True,
So
true.
it's not that talking about all of this means that I'm demeaning Pakistan, but we have to face the reality. And when this has become the reality, the bitter reality, we need to change. We need to realize कि हाँ ये एक problem है, बुराई को बुरा समझना जरूरी है, and then we have to come up with something, with a solution that we as educated people, अगर हम शऊरी तौर पे इसको गलत नहीं कहेंगे, गलत नहीं समझेंगे, और फिर इसके लिए कोई स्टेप नहीं लेंगे, मे बी it's not in your power to take a huge step, but it's in your power to educate someone, to educate your students, maybe to spread the word, the awareness, to keep the people alert. Do it. Whatever is in your power, do it, and make sure that you are not becoming the part of it. You're not becoming
Yeah.
part of that wrongdoing, or you're not, you can even become the part of the wrongdoing by uh, affirming to it, by
Yeah.
accepting it कि यार ये तो normal है, ये तो होता ही है, और ये तो
Exactly,
क्या कर
exactly.
सकते
True.
हैं, right?
Even that itself is a sin if we are even agreeing to the wrongful act.
Exactly. So now, definition of a contract. What is a contract? Kinza, please read.
A valid contract is a legally binded agreement formed by the mutual consent of two parties.
Right. So this is a basic definition. It's a legally binding agreement, and it has to have the mutual consent by both the parties. Okay. So these are the two basic features. Number one, legally binding. Number two, mutual consent of both the parties. And most importantly, valid contract. What do you think makes the contract valid?
Because if it's up to date, it's like if the date has passed, it's not valid anymore. If it's
Okay.
for 6 months, then after 6 months, it's not valid.
That's one. That's factor number one. Any other factor?
Time, besides time, I think if the job has been done, then the contract is not also valid anymore.
Okay. Factor number two. Anything else? Do you think that a child can enter into a contract?
A child?
A child, a minor who is under 18.
No, 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 no. Before 18, you cannot get into a contract.
Do you think that if I want to enter in a contract with you to smuggle some money or to
No, illegal things. Yeah, it's not valid. Yeah.
अच्छा आप तो जा रहे हो ना यूके, तो जरा मेरे ये पैसे लेते जाना और फलां
Hmm.
बैंक में डलवा देना. So this is also a kind of a contract happening, right? But do you think it's a valid contract?
No, because it's not legal. So it's not a legal binding agreement.
Right, it's illegal. And for example, we both agree to enter into this contract, and you know that the money I'm giving to you is from illegal source, and you know that this is a kind of money laundering, but still you agree to take my money to UK and deposit in the bank. But then what you do, you have wrong intentions. You intend to fraud me, and you just
Mhm.
run away with the money. Then can I go to the court and sue you for it?
No,
Even if I will go, will the court listen to me?
no, of course not.
Because the contract is not valid, it is illegal. So in उल्टा
Yeah,
मेरे ऊपर ही बलि आ जाएगी.
exactly.
So that's a valid contract. A minor cannot enter into it. A illegal activity cannot happen. Thirdly, any terrorist activities, or you can even say, uh,
That
may
will come into legal, right? The terrorist activity will also come under legal.
also come under illegal. Then there is one more thing, which is if the person is insane, okay, if the
Okay.
person is retarded,
Yeah.
And for
And
example,
it has been proved that he was not conscious at that time.
yeah,
So
for
that can also be an invalid contract. Yeah.
invalid contract. I can give you an example for this. If my brother is retarded and I get him to marry some girl who doesn't know that he is retarded, okay, and then
Yeah.
she suddenly finds out after the marriage that, oh my God, he is retarded. And she
Uh-huh.
refuses to spend the rest of the life. And she says that, no, you guys kept me in the dark and you did not
Yeah.
tell me clearly about this. And he is retarded. I cannot continue this nikah contract with him. So will
Yeah.
that contract be considered as valid? Do you think if she goes to the court and sues the family for, she can file a case, right, under the civil law? Then,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Not in Pakistan, but of course in UK she can do that.
yeah. So
If she has the proofs, yeah. So she can.
what will the court say? Will the court consider the contract to be a valid contract?
Yeah. Invalid.
In that there is no contract, the person is not mature enough, he's retarded. How can he fulfill the terms and conditions of the contract? So
That's right.
it is not, they are not in a contract. All right. Uh, Next, factors affecting the modern contract. What are the factors that can affect the modern contract? Number one, inequality of bargaining power. Number two, the standard form contract. And number three, consumer protection. Number four, battle of the forms. Number five, the electronic contract. So these are the five factors that could affect the modern day contract. Now, how and in which way? Number one, inequality of bargaining power. What
I
do
think the first one, inequality of bargain, I think it's like what we have in Pakistan about nikah. You were telling that that even the girl has the rights to, just put up her things in the nikah and read it carefully. But it's inequality because the men, they can, decide what the amount of meher is, and they can just bargain or they can write down their rights. But on the other hand, the women, they don't have the bargain power. So I think it's that.
Okay, you can use this example. इसमें मैं दो चार बातों पर रोशनी डालूंगी. मेहर किसे कहते हैं किंजा? What is a meher?
Amount, I think it's the amount which which men gives to women, and they have to return it back as soon as they get divorced.
Okay, all right. Basically हम लोग क्या करते हैं ना, it's our lack of knowledge that we do not research on such.
Exactly, exactly.
ओके, सो मेहर इज बेसिकली, कुरान में इसका जिक्र जहाँ आया है वहां पे एक वर्ड यूज हुआ है इस वर्ड के लिए, विच इज सदका. एंड व्हाट इज सदका? व्हाट डू वी अंडरस्टैंड ऑफ दिस वर्ड सदका?
Charity.
चैरिटी, या कोई ऐसी चीज दे देना जिसके रिटर्न में यू आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग एनीथिंग.
Exactly. Yeah.
समथिंग विच यू आर गिविंग इन रिटर्न फॉर विच यू आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग एनीथिंग. क्योंकि
Expecting anything.
अगर आप कुछ एक्सपेक्ट करोगे तो वो तो ट्रांजैक्शन हो जाएगी,
True that.
वो तो लेन देन हो जाएगा. आई पे यू
Mm,
मनी, यू गिव मी अ प्रोडक्ट. आई पे यू मनी, यू गिव मी अ सर्विस. सो हियर
that's right.
paying someone a money, but I'm not expecting anything in return. That is sadaqa, or you can also call it a gift, where you're giving something but you're not expecting anything in return. So in the Quran,
Yeah.
the word meher has been used, it has been explained as a sadaqa, as a gift, which a husband can give, which can be anything. There is no specifically mentioned that नहीं सिर्फ इतने पैसे ही होने चाहिए या ये चीज होनी चाहिए या वो चीज होनी चाहिए. It is prescribed, it is said, it is एज अ कल्चर और अ ट्रेडिशन कि नहीं, ये देना ही चाहिए. आप एक नए रिश्ते की शुरुआत करने जा रहे हैं. इट्स मोर एथिकल एंड मॉरल टू गिव अ गिफ्ट टू योर वाइफ ऑन द डे of marriage, before you actually go and meet with her. That what is clearly stated. But हमारा क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, जैसे जैसे ये बातें चली आ रही हैं, वी आर हियरिंग दैट ओ वो मेहर तो लड़की का हक है, और मेहर तो वो डिमांड भी कर सकती है, और मेहर तो फर्ज है। ठीक है, ये बहुत सारी बातें बीच में आ गई हैं, तो
एग्जैक्टली।
ये पीछे कितनी रियलिटी या सच्चाई है, नोबडी हैज रिसर्च्ड ऑन इट। मेहर इज टेक्निकली एम्फसाइज्ड कि दो, ठीक है, देना चाहिए दो, मगर कहीं भी ये नहीं कहा कि ये बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ना कंपल्शन है। मगर बिल्कुल इस हदीस में भी बात आई है कि इट वाज सेड दैट मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम वाज गेटिंग मैरिड, हजरत जैनब का निकाह किसके साथ करवा रहे थे, हजरत जैद के साथ, राइट। एंड देयर वाज निकाह ऑफ अली एंड फातिमा, राइट। एंड जहाँ पे अली के पास कुछ नहीं था देने के लिए टू फातिमा, एंड ही सेड कि मैं क्या दूं महर में ना, तो मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने बुलवाया कि आपके पास क्या है, आप लेकर आओ जो भी है। तो एक तलवार थी, एक कोई सुरमा था, और ऐसी ही दो चार छोटी मोटी बहुत नॉट वेरी मच वैल्यूबल थिंग्स। एंड ही सेड इट्स ओके यू कैन गिव दिस। एक जगह और ये आया कि अगर आपको, आपके पास कुछ भी नहीं है ना, यू कैन इवन टीच वन वर्स, यू कैन शेयर योर इल्म एज अ गिफ्ट।
बट एक्चुअली द डिबेट इज कि ठीक है अगर कुछ नहीं है तो दैट मीन समथिंग एल्स, बट अब उनका एसेट वाज हिज स्वॉर्ड। ठीक है, तो डिबेट नॉर्मली व्हाट आई हैव सीन पीपल डूइंग द डिबेट इज उनके पास जो भी उनके एसेट्स थे दे गेव एनीवे इन यू नो, वो जो भी उसमें था। बट इफ पीपल आर रिच दे आर सपोज टू गिव their property maybe just because they've got those as an asset. So this is kind of a debate I've been hearing from last couple of days.
धीरे धीरे कि उसने मेहर कितना दिया, अगर स्टेटस को के लिए
Exactly.
तो नियत अल्लाह जानता है, अगर वाकई गिफ्ट के लिए दे रहे हैं तो वो भी नियतें अल्लाह
Hmm.
जानते हैं। नियतों,
Exactly.
नियतों का तो मालिक और हिसाब किताब अल्लाह ही करेगा। बट इट्स अ गुड साइन, इट्स अ गुड जेस्चर, इट इज नॉट फर्ज एंड इट इज नॉट द राइट ऑफ द वुमेन टू गो एंड शाउट फॉर इट और से ये मेरा हक है, मुझे दो मुझे दो मुझे दो। नो, ओके, इट्स मोहब्बतों
True.
के सौदे होते हैं, ये मोहब्बतों के सौदे होते हैं, तो ये है।
True.
ठीक है, तो मेहर का आई होप यहाँ कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो गया ना, जहाँ पे इनइक्वालिटी ऑफ बार्गेनिंग बात आ रही है, तो यस इट इज अबाउट लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल I am representing the institute, you are representing a student. Who has more bargaining power over here? The institute, right? The one which
Yeah, this.
has more bargaining power. Now, because the institute has more authority, it does not mean that it will or it should exploit the students,
Yeah.
okay, by either charging too much or by maybe
That's why in colleges and schools they have counselors. You can go to them, talk to them if you have any issues with the teacher, with the any other faculty. So it's like both have equal rights. Even the students they can also speak up.
exactly. Exactly. And bargaining power is at the time of making the contract. अब अगर घर में मुझे मासी रखनी है, ठीक है, आई वांट टू हायर अ मेड, अ पर्सन हु विल बी अ होम कीपर और टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द हाउस chores, who has more bargaining power?
Me,
Me. Why?
yeah. Because I'm the one paying up. So obviously I'll be deciding more.
Yeah, because I'm the
But
one.
it depends, to be honest, when they have monopoly these days, like, so I don't know.
Yeah, when there is a shortage in supply,
Exactly.
तो
So
मजबूर
when they have, like, yeah.
वो वीक पार्टी होती है, खत्म बात।
So they also have a market value. You have to listen to them and obey whatever they are saying. So this is also the case these days.
तो लॉ यहाँ पे इंटरवीन करता है और मेक श्योर करता है कि कोई एक स्ट्रॉन्गर पार्टी वीकर पार्टी का फायदा ना उठाए, इस बात को देखते हुए कि सामने वाला वीक है, मजबूर है, वो कहाँ जाएगा, उसको तो नौकरी मेरे पास ही करनी पड़ेगी, सो आई एम गिविंग हिम इवन बिलो द अमाउंट विच ही डिजर्व्स टू।
Yeah.
नाउ द स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, सी एवरी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर्मेट, सो देयर इज अ
Okay.
स्टैंडर्ड एवरी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। अगर आप प्रॉपर्टी रिलेटेड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में एंटर हो रहे हैं, इट हैज अ पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मेट, यू हैव टू अबाइड।
Just like we have formats for F3, like we have proper formats for our income tax and everything, balance sheets.
Exactly, exactly. So moving ahead, consumer protection. What is consumer protection? Yes, Kinza, what understanding you have?
Consumer protection, like if I'm buying a product, if I'm buying an edible stuff, so obviously they have to make sure that it is edible, it is not expired. So it's a consumer protection. I can just go to them, I can tell them, I can sue them if I have any problem by consuming their product or service.
Right. So consumer have someone to go to in case they
Yeah.
are needful or in case they have been sold uh, expired products or low quality products, they can go and address their issues somewhere, right? So the two laws or two acts behind it are Unfair Contract Terms Act 1977 and Consumer Acts 2015. Battle of the Forms. What is Battle of the Form? Please read.
Disputes sometimes arise in commercial agreements because each party is accustomed to doing business on its own standard terms and argues that they apply to the contract rather than the other party's terms. Great care should be taken during the negotiation stage to clarify which standard or other terms will be applied. Where it is not clear, the contract must be considered objectively but taking into account what has actually happened.
क्या कह रहे हैं?
I think they're saying, like, for example, if I am in a medical profession and I am contracted with a business person, like some other thing, but I will be following my format and the other person will be following his format. So there's going to be a dispute in between us.
Exactly. Now let's refer to the case and see what is it saying. The facts. पढ़िए.
The claimant, a manufacturer of control system for motor vehicles, purchased pedal sensors from the defendant, which were defective and caused substantial loss. Both parties argued that their standard terms applied to the contract. The defendant's standard terms excluded liability for consequential loss or damage and limited liability to carrying out works for of repair. Okay, now they're saying they both had their different things. The person who sold the motor vehicles, he was saying that my terms were saying that it's excluding liability. If something happens, it's not my responsibility. But on the other hand, the other person who bought the motor vehicles, their contract was saying that they have the limited liability. So this was the dispute in between.
ऑल राइट. डिस्प्यूट हुआ. मैं गई हूँ दुकान में, किंजा की दुकान है. वहां से मैंने पेडल सेंसर्स खरीद लिए. ठीक है. जब मैं घर आई मैंने देखा अरे ये तो डिफेक्टिव है. तो मैं किंजा के पास भागी भागी गई कि भाई मेरे ये एक्सचेंज कर दो या रिपेयर कर दो या मेरे पैसे वापस करो. तीन ही ऑप्शंस हैं, इधर एक्सचेंज,
Yeah.
इधर रिपेयर और रिफंड द मनी. तो किंजा
Hmm.
कहती है नहीं, मैं हमारी हमारी पॉलिसी नहीं है. हमारी
Hmm.
policy नहीं है. हम जो है ना, हम ना रिपेयर करके देंगे और हमारी बहुत लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी है रिपेयर वर्क के लिए. ये तो आउट ऑफ स्कोप है, इसको हम रिपेयर भी नहीं कर सकते. और ये लॉस या डैमेज जो आपको हुआ है, सॉरी वी कांट डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट, नीदर वी विल रिफंड,
Yeah.
वी विल एक्सचेंज. ठीक है. अब ये आपने आपको खरीदते वक्त देखना चाहिए था.
True.
ठीक है.
And I'm right to be honest.
Now you are saying that yes these are your policies and I am saying ये क्या बात हुई. एक तो मैं आपसे खरीदा हूँ और मैंने खुद भी इस्तेमाल नहीं किया, डिफेक्टेड निकले, और आप कह रहे हो मेरी गलती, मतलब मेरी गलती है कि मैंने चेक नहीं किया. व्हाट इज दिस नाउ?
But
व्हाट
actually, it happens like I think it was my responsibility to tell you that it's non-refundable and non-exchangeable. Is
Yes,
it that?
yes, you should have
Yeah.
told me at the time of purchase. But because I did not know all of that, I did not agree to your terms and conditions and purchase that thing. Did I?
Yeah.
No. So
But you would have asked me.
yeah, I will ask you also. So anyways, I went to the court. What will I do? I'll
Mhm.
go to the court because I am the customer. Well, I feel harmed. I feel victimized. I feel that you're taking advantage of, and you're doing any of the things that I'm asking you to do. So the decision of the court will not be either for you, Kinza, nor it will be against me. Okay. Why? Because none of
Okay.
us accepted each other's terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Even
True.
know, nor did I know. Okay. So now what will be followed? The Sale of Goods Act will be followed. The terms and conditions given over there will be followed. Whatever the law states that the buyer or the purchaser किसको क्या करना होगा इस सूरत हाल में, the law will we will refer to the law. Okay?
Okay.
Whatever will be stated, we will act accordingly. We will have to act accordingly. There is no other way. Then the electronic contract. We all know electronic contract, how it can
Yeah,
be.
exactly. Nowadays, it's happening a lot that it's electronic. We're just signing up with the signing pen on the tabs. We don't sign physically now. It's all electronic.
Now, the essentials of a contract. What is a contract comprised of? Please read.
The three essential elements of contract are offer and acceptance, consideration, and intention to enter into legal legislation.
What does it say?
First is the offer. Like if I'm asking you to sign a contract, that means I'm offering you to get into the legal relationships with me, whatever we have been discussing. So it's an offer and acceptance. Of course, I'm offering you and you are accepting it. And consideration. You actually know what is happening, what is written, what we have considered, and intention to enter into a legal legislation that you had the intention, nobody was forcing you and you were like already all good with it, that's why you are getting into the contract.
Okay. Offer and acceptance. You explained it rightly. कोई ऑफर देगा तो सामने वाला एक्सेप्ट करेगा तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट.
Hmm.
प्रपोजल आएगा तो हामी भरेगी तो मंगनी होगी ना.
Hmm.
That's offer and acceptance. What is consideration? Consideration is the money basically. What are you paying
Hmm.
for that particular product or that particular service?
Okay.
अगर हम इसमें देख.
Exchange of things, like if I'm giving you money, you're giving me service, so exchange of things.
अब रिश्ता आया, एक्सेप्टेंस हुई, उसमें भी कंसिडरेशन है. एंड व्हाट इज इट? मंगनी की अंगूठी पहनाएंगे या कोई सोने का कड़ा पहनाएंगे टू ठप्पा.
Hmm.
पक्का की बात है, बात. ठीक है. तो कंसिडरेशन, वेन एवर यू वॉन्ट टू मेक द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पक्का, यू नीड टू एक्सचेंज मनी और एनीथिंग वैल्यू.
Deposits, we usually call it deposits, and yeah.
Anything or a promise, a written promise, it's
Yeah.
consideration. Next, the third point, intention to enter into legal relations. You have complete intentions in case you feel breached, in case you feel that you have been betrayed, in case you feel you have been put into a fraud or you have been fooled, you have full intention to bring the court in between, to go
Yeah.
to court, get the.
You are not just randomly signing in and later saying, oh, I didn't know, it's actually because of the court and legal stuff. So you should be knowing that everything can happen.
Exactly.
Anything can happen.
In case of any kind of conflict, I will be approaching the court or the law. The courts will usually look for evidence, the three essential elements. अगर उनको ये पता करना है कि फलाना contract valid है या नहीं, so this is one of the criteria they are going to go through. That क्या agreement थी, offer थी, acceptance थी, क्या consideration, exchange of value कुछ हुआ था, क्या intention थी to create legal relations or not. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल इसमें हम ले सकते हैं कि भाई why they are specifying so much upon this when the we are considering that UK and foreign countries they have this law system. So this is just, you can call it a presumption और but understood सी बात है कि हम कोर्ट को बीच में लाएंगे. तो ये बार बार इसको स्पेसिफाई क्यों कर रहे हैं? Because there can be situations, there can be some kind of transactions in which you do not want to bring the court into inside the contract. Like for example, uh, I have a friend and she asked me कि यार मेरा मोबाइल है और मेरा दिल भर गया है, 6 महीने इस्तेमाल किया, I want to sell it. Okay, are you, because you're my friend, so I'm offering you first, so would you like to purchase it from me? So she is giving me an offer. And now it's my intention whether I accept it or I don't accept it. For
Yeah.
example, for instance, I accept. I said हाँ हाँ ठीक है, बताओ कितने का दे दियो. तो उसने कहा कि भाई मैं 10,000 का दे रही. So I said okay fine, this price is good enough. मैं I agree. तो तुम कल ले आना और मैं पैसे भी ले आऊंगी, ले लेना. मैंने कहा अच्छा ठीक है, तुम कल आओ तो सही ना, कल मिलते हैं, कल जरा घूमते फिरते भी हैं, मूवी भी देखते हैं, और ना तुम मुझे मोबाइल दिखाना, मैं देखूंगी ना, पहले मैं देखूंगी, फिर मुझे अगर पसंद आया तो फिर मैं ले लूंगी. तो फ्रेंड ने कहा ठीक है. कल मिले, मूवी देखी, खाया पिया गप्पे लगाई, उसने दिखाया मोबाइल, मुझे अच्छा लगा, मैंने देखा, मैंने कहा हाँ मुझे दे दो, मैं रख लेती हूँ, ठीक है मैं दे दूंगी पैसे, और मैंने रखे। अब एक दिन गुजर गया, पैसे नहीं दिए, दूसरा दिन गुजर गया, पैसे नहीं दिए, तीसरा दिन गुजर गया, पैसे नहीं दिए। अब वो फ्रेंड पूछ रही है, यार तुम कब मिल रहे हैं हम दोबारा, मतलब ना इनडायरेक्टली कब मिल रहे हैं दोबारा। तो मैंने कहा अच्छा, बहुत बिजी चल रही, तो बिल्कुल नहीं मिल सकते ना।
हम्म।
फोन कैसा चल रहा है? हाँ बहुत बढ़िया चल रहा है, सही है, क्या है? अच्छा तुम पैसे कब दे रही हो? हाँ, अच्छा पैसे, अच्छा चलो तुम अकाउंट डिटेल्स शेयर करो, मैं भेजती हूँ। अच्छा आप अकाउंट डिटेल्स आ गई, अब पैसे नहीं गए। पांचवा दिन हो गया, छठा दिन हो गया, सातवां दिन हो गया। अब फ्रेंड सोच रही है मैं बोलूं नहीं बोलूं, 7 दिन हो गए अभी तक पैसे नहीं दिए, क्या इरादे हैं इसके, देगी नहीं देगी। अच्छा फिर फ्रेंड की कॉल आ गई ना, उससे थोड़ा गुस्से में बोल रही है, यार तुम पैसे नहीं भिजवाए, तुमने शायद पैसे भिजवा दिए, तुमने स्क्रीनशॉट नहीं भेजा। तो ना मैं कहा, नहीं मैंने तो अभी नहीं भिजवाए पैसे। अब मुझे समझ आ रही है दैट शी इज गेटिंग पिस्ड ऑफ, ओके। फिर थोड़ी देर बाद, अच्छा तो तुमने नहीं भेजे पैसे, क्या सीन है, मतलब कब भेज रही हो, मेरे पापा पूछ रहे हैं ना बार बार कि फोन दे दिया तो पैसे कहाँ हैं। तो हाँ हाँ भेज दूंगी, इतनी क्या जल्दी है, एक दो दिन दो मैं भिजवाती हूँ। एक दो दिन भाई, अभी तो एक हफ्ता हो गया। मेरे पापा बार बार पूछ रहे हैं, मैं क्या बोलूं उन्हें, यार मुझे थोड़ी जरूरत भी है, भेज दो यार, ऐसे नहीं करो, आज ही भेज दो। अच्छा अच्छा भिजवाती हूँ भिजवाती हूँ, परेशानी है। फिर एक दिन गुजर गया, नहीं भेजे मैंने।
अब
अब
घर आ जाएगी।
अब बताओ कि मतलब ऐसी सिचुएशन में अगर कोई थर्ड पार्टी होती तो अभी तक तो वो कब का सू कर चुकी होती मुझे,
एग्जैक्टली।
ठीक है। मगर अब इस केस में क्या वो मुझे सू कर रही है या करना चाहती है?
नहीं।
उसको पता है मैं दे दूंगी, मैं उसकी दोस्त हूँ, उसको पता है कुछ नहीं तो वो घर आ जाएगी, ठीक है,
हम्म।
कुछ नहीं तो छीन के ले जाएगी, मोबाइल ही वापस ले जाएगी। तो मतलब she is not intending to get into such a relationship, she is not
या
intending to go to the court, right? But she will try her whatever things.
ऑप्शंस ही विल बी हैविंग, या।
So all of this is happening, so there are some cases where you don't want to create legal relations.
ओके।
Next, validity factors. Now what are validity factors? The validity factors we have discussed it earlier, we'll just go through it quickly. Number one, minor. नंबर वन कैपेसिटी, क्या वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में एंटर होना उस पर्सन की कैपेसिटी में था?
कैपेसिटी है, एग्जैक्टली।
मीन्स
If like I am contracting like for crores, so obviously I don't have that capacity, so I can't, get into a contract.
unreasonable contract. Moreover, if you are,
Yeah,
you can't enter, if you are intoxicated you can't enter, if you are mentally retarded you can't enter, okay. Next, form. Form, that means the contracts must be made in a particular form, like for example अगर जमीन बेचनी है तो you just can't make a normal contract,
exactly.
it has to be done through a deed or through a proper legal.
Actually, a format to a proper format, whatever has been following.
Exactly. तो अगर मैंने ऐसे ही पेपर पे लिख के दे दिया हाँ जमीन तेरे नाम पे, तो ये इट्स नॉट वैलिड, ठीक।
Exactly, true.
कंटेंट, कंटेंट सही होना चाहिए, पार्टीज दोनों अग्री होनी चाहिए। डू नॉट एक्सप्रेस में भी इम्प्लाइड कुछ टर्म्स ऐसे हो सकते हैं और कुछ टर्म्स जो हैं वो एक्सप्रेस्ड वे में होंगे। नेक्स्ट, जेन्युइन कॉन्सेंट। अगर मैं तुम्हारे सर पे बंदूक रख के बोलूं भाई साइन कर निका डॉक्यूमेंट,
Hmm.
साइन कर अभी,
Exactly.
तो ऑफ कोर्स यू विल साइन टू सेव योर, टू सेव योर लाइफ,
Hmm.
but it's not
That is why when we have like big property contracts, so we have to be physically present there and in front of the camera, just doing all the formalities.
exactly. So
It's not like we just sign it at home and
any undue influence. Undue influence can be anything. Can be family pressure, blackmailing, duress, stress. Okay, legality. It shouldn't be illegal. It shouldn't be
yeah.
in the bad books of the public policy. Okay. So all these factors will be considered in order to make sure that the contract is a valid contract, right? Next. A void contract, a voidable contract, and an unenforceable contract. These are the three terminologies which you must be familiar with. Okay, start reading one by one and explain what does it mean.
A void contract is not a contract at all. The parties are not bound by it, and if they transfer property under it, they can sometimes recover their goods even from the third party.
Now, what does it mean? Can you give an example?
It's not a contract, and the parties are not bounded by it, and they transfer the property under it, they can sometimes recover their goods. I didn't get it.
A void contract means a which is not a contract by nature. Okay, it
Okay, but transfer property.
has no offer, no acceptance, ठीक है. और इसमें क्या है, parties are also not bound by it. Both the parties are free, they are not bound. And if they transfer property under it, they can sometimes recover their goods even from a third party. अच्छा, अब इसमें होता क्या है, this is basically, how do I explain this? Yes, अब इसको इस तरह समझो. I know this example. See, I'm bringing these examples so that it is relatable because we are from this society, and this society में क्या
Yeah.
है, हम लोग जब छोटे होते हैं, और कभी आपने सुना हो कि किसी खानदान में दो भाइयों के बच्चे हुए, और उन्होंने उनके मतलब अभी पैदा हुए हैं नहीं, और उन्होंने बात तय कर दी कि हाँ हाँ जब ये लोग बड़े हो जाएंगे ना हम
Mm-hmm.
कर देंगे. ओके, अब ये आपस में दो लोगों की बात हुई है, और वो भी क्या बाय द वे बात हुई है, कोई ऐसा पक्का वाला इरादा कुछ नहीं हुआ है. बाय द वे, जैसे हंसी मजाक में
And as you were telling yesterday, so they are just the agents anyway.
तो ये अब ये ऐसा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है कि ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है ही नहीं, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. दूसरी बात, पार्टीज आर नॉट बाउंड बाय इट, क्योंकि एक तो इतनी हंसी मजाक के माहौल में हुआ, सीरियस भी नहीं. अगर सीरियस माहौल में हुआ भी तो इट्स जाहिलाना हरकत है. और
Exactly.
एंड इफ दे ट्रांसफर,
And बड़े के principals will be shocked कि हमारे साथ क्या हो गया.
moreover, if they transfer property under it, यानी जो बेगमात हैं वो ज्यादा ही सीरियस होके अभी से ही अंगूठी रख, लॉकेट रख
True, true, true.
बना के लाई हूँ. Now they are exchanging the property on this basis, having dreams about all of this bullshit. So
Mhm.
they can recover their goods from the third party if, when they
Oh,
realize that it's not a contract at all.
okay, okay, got it.
अब इसको
Yeah.
UK वाले किस तरह देखते हैं, यूके वालों को ही पता. All right, jokes apart. Of avoidable contract. What is avoidable? Now, see, jokes apart, a void contract is often done in companies as well. When people of the companies, and they are on in the highest of position, and they by the way say something, and it becomes, they try to make a deal out of it. For
Yeah.
example, you are an owner of company X and I am an owner of company B. अब हम दोनों की
Hmm.
अच्छी दोस्ती है, तो दोस्ती में हमने कुछ बातें कर ली कि ठीक है भाई, तुम मंगवा लेना रॉ
And
मटेरियल.
sometimes it happens ना कि हम कहते हैं यार तुम मेरे थोड़े अभी शेयर्स उठा लो, मेरी थोड़ी मार्केट की डिमांड हो जाए, लेटर मैं तुम्हें फिर ये कर दूंगा. So
हाँ,
this is also I think avoid contract.
बिकॉज आपने देखो ना, एक तो होता है कि आप प्रॉपर देखो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए शराइत क्या है, ऑफर एंड एक्सेप्टेंस प्लस
Yeah.
कंसिडरेशन.
Hmm.
These two are major, and third, that in case of any breach, you are willing to go to the court.
Legal. Yeah.
You want it to be legally binding.
Yeah.
Kind of settings, it becomes difficult to see or to make sure that all of these conditions are fulfilled. When you talk just in the air and you are just habitual of talking and talking and talking. Next, avoidable contract. Please read.
Avoidable contract is a contract which one party may set aside. Property transferred before avoidance is usually irrecoverable from the third party. Now, avoidable contract is that one party is not agreeing anymore, and the property has already been transferred before this. It's not irrecoverable now. It is irrecoverable. For example, when I had a contract with you, it was actually not a when like if I had a contract with you and I gave you my property or whatever it is, so now I am just going apart, I'm not following it anymore, but now I cannot take the property back from you, just like the rings you were talking, that now if we cannot get it back, then it's a voidable contract.
या अनअवॉइडेबल बेसिकली एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है, ठीक है। अब ये जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है ये पार्टी ए एंड पार्टी बी के बीच में, ओके, वेयर पार्टी ए इज फुलफिलिंग ऑल द टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस, बट पार्टी बी halfway through can set this contract aside and he may say that no, sorry, we don't wish to continue anymore. अब इसमें कुछ
Yeah,
भी हो सकता है, it can be anything in your wildest imagination, you know. uh,
yeah,
For example, an employer and employee relationship. There's a contract. He is doing a job. He's the boss. Fine. They are doing work. एक साल हो गया है, वेरी गुड, जबरदस्त, दूसरा साल हो गया है। अब अचानक से कोई ऐसी बात हो जाती है, बात, बहस, आर्ग्यूमेंट, मे बी
yeah,
the employee gets offended to the extent that he is willing to leave the job on the spot. He's willing to
yeah,
throw away the contract and just leave. तो अब अगर उसको वापस आके एक्सपीरियंस लेटर चाहिए या उसको अपनी सैलरी चाहिए, तो इट इज पॉसिबल कि अब एम्प्लॉयर शायद उसको ना दे उसकी सैलरी, वो बोले तुम
true.
बीच में छोड़ के चले गए और हमारे तो
And even
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट।
this can happen if there's a married couple and the husband has transferred the property on women's name. So after the contract has been finished, they are no more together, but still the property is on her name. It's irrecoverable. It cannot come back.
वेरी गुड एग्जाम्पल, वेरी गुड एग्जाम्पल, पॉसिबल अनलेस रिटन इन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। इफ इट्स रिटन
Yeah.
इन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कि नहीं, डिवोर्स के वक्त आपको सब कुछ लौटाना पड़ेगा, सारे गिफ्ट्स और
Hmm.
प्रॉपर्टी।
Yeah. Sometimes it's written that after 18 only the kids can have the property. If it's written in the contract, then obviously it's, or after the kids will get married if I die. Sometimes it's mentioned in the will that if I die, my property will go to my kids, but after they get married or after they get graduated or something like that. So if there are terms, then it's fine. Otherwise, it's not going to be that.
राइट, एन अनएनफोर्सेबल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, प्लीज रीड।
An unforceable contract is a valid contract and property transferred under it cannot be recovered even from the other party to the contract. But if either party refuses to perform or to complete their part of the performance of the contract, the other party cannot compel them to do so. A contract is usually enforceable when the required evidence of its terms, for example, written evidence of a contract relating to land, is not available.
राइट, कुछ चीजें अनएनफोर्सेबल होती हैं, यानी कि यू कैन नॉट फोर्स द अदर पार्टी। फॉर एग्जांपल possible that I take up on a course and I'm teaching a student, and that student, दो तीन क्लासेस होती ही हैं, वो बहुत बदतमीजी करने लगता है, लाइक काइंड ऑफ हैरेसिंग, मजाक उड़ाना, लेग पुलिंग करना, इट कैन बी बदतमीजी टू द हाइट, मतलब एक ऐसे पॉइंट पे पहुंच जाए कि जहाँ आई रिफ्यूज टू
You
टीच,
are getting affected. Yeah.
एंड आई से आई रिफ्यूज टू टीच, फाइन, यू, अगर आपको इतना ही प्रॉब्लम है आप अल्लाह हाफिज, खत्म, व्हाई एम आई हियर टू टीच यू, I can't
Yeah.
study. So I am stepping back, and that student is now forcing me, trying to force me that no, ma'am, we are in a contract, and I paid you, so
You
you have
have
to
to.
do
Yeah.
this. He can't force me, and even if he tries to force me, I will not be forced because
Yeah.
he has done something. His actions are not appropriate, and
Yeah.
I'm not liable to teach such a student, even though my contract is that I have to deliver the course and I have taken the money as well, and I'm not going to refund.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So now this becomes an unenforceable contract. Even if he goes to the court, even if he goes,
Hmm.
I have the proof. I have the recording of the class. Okay. And I am,
Okay.
and unless, in fact, I can sue him. What he will sue me, I can sue him for behaving in this way. Okay, so that's the thing, an unenforceable contract. Next, form of a contract. Now, form, बहुत सारे तरीके से contract बन सकते हैं, deeds, writing, evidence in writing, and there are certain contracts, like certain properties, which can only be transacted in a particular way, taking the government's permission. Like, for example, import and export. If you want to import and export, you need a proper license. That's also a contract. If you want to drive,
Yeah.
proper driving license, that's also a kind of contract. If you need to do some trading in another country, you need a license to sell a certain type of a weapon or a certain type of a drug, you need patent, you need license.
Yeah.
So without it, that's also kind of a contract that, okay, you're given the permission to do. You offered something, it was accepted, and it was given a legal consideration for it. Good to go. So next, contracts by deed. Please read.
Contracts by deeds. A contract deed must be in written and it must be signed. Delivery must take place. Delivery is conduct indicating that the person executing the deed intends to be bound by it. These contract must be deed. Lease for 3 years or more, a conveyance or transfer of a legal state in land, including a mortgage, a promise not supported by consideration, such as a convent, for example, a promise to pay a regular sum to a charity.
Hmm.
Okay,
What
yeah,
is,
it's clear.
right? So what is a lease, Pinza? What is a lease?
Lease is actually when we're like, for example, if I'm buying a car on a lease or a house on a lease, so I have to every month I have to pay a amount whatever has been decided between us, a percentage of amount. So I have to give it to the bank.
Ownership
It's
is
a lease.
with the customer or with the person who is
It
giving.
depends. Yeah, it depends. Sometimes it's with the bank or sometimes it's with the customer.
It's usually with the bank, unless your lease is paid completely.
Okay. Okay. It's on, not on my name if it's on a lease. Okay.
Okay, next. Contracts must be in writing. Yeah, transfer of shares must be in writing. Interest in land must be in writing. Bills of exchange and checks must be in writing. And consumer credit contracts must also be in writing. Credit, that means उधार पे आपने कोई लेन देन की है.
Okay.
ओके जी, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Contracts which must be evidence in writing. One of it is contract of guarantee. वो
Mhm.
कर सकते हैं, मगर कुछ का रिटर्न होना बहुत जरूरी है, जैसे कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ गारंटी.
Generally, हम भी कुछ ले रहे होते हैं when we're buying any electronic stuff. So we always have a card which says this is a guarantee. This is the time the guarantee has been started. You bought it on this specific day.
Exactly. Now, offer. What's an offer? Please read.
Offer. An offer is a definite promise to be bound on specific terms. Sorry. The first essential element in the formation of a binding contract is agreement. This is usually evidenced by offer and acceptance. An offer is a definite promise to be bound on specific terms and must be distinguished from a merely supply of information and from invitation of treat.
क्या कह रहे हैं?
Offer is actually it's all when we are giving an offer and the other person is accepting, like just like we are signing up the terms and conditions. They tell us they have to be specific on everything, that whatever we are accepting, whatever they are offering us, and we are signing it up.
Exactly. The terms and conditions must be made clear, must be made
Yeah,
very much
specific.
profound and specific.
Yeah.
And supply of information, invitation. There's a difference between offer and supply of information and invitation to treat. These are three different things. Offer is a proper offer. That means I want to enter into a contract with you.
Yeah.
I am sending a proposal to your house. That means my intention, I'm showing a very clear intention to get into a marriage contract with you.
Mm.
Okay. I am sending an offer to you to sell my car with the pictures and the price I would like to sell at, and I'm offering it to you. So that's an offer. But what is supply of information?
That in what conditions, in what scenarios, what have you agreed on?
Like,
What is actually the things?
in my institute, I get calls. I get calls to book the exams. Okay. I get calls to get tuition queries. Okay. So what they ask, the student asks that, okay, मुझे 10 तारीख को पेपर देना है और फलाना पेपर देना है, तो फिर what are the charges and how can I register myself? So what I am saying, as an institute, I will inform him about the price, the charges. I'm going to inform him about the registration procedure. I'm going to maybe note down his name and contact number, and I'm going to share my contact details so that he can contact and confirm his seat. And
Yeah.
so he can ask for bank details, and I will be sharing through the phone, through the message. Okay. So is that any offer and acceptance happening over this call?
No,
No. It's
just sharing up the information.
it's just a supply of information. Yes, unless he messages me and says, please share with me the account details. I will share the account details. Do you think the seat is still registered? The offer
No,
acceptance has been made.
no. Until and unless he makes up the payments and you confirm it, then it's all done.
Okay, that's a supply of information. Then what is invitation to treat? To understand what is invitation to treat, let's go through this very famous case known as Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Wall Company, 1893. Okay, please read.
Fact: the manufacturer of a patent medicine published an advertisement by which they undertook to pay $100 reward to any person who contracts influenza after having used the smoke balls 3 times daily for 2 weeks. The advertisement added that £1,000 had been deposited at bank, showing our sincerity in this matter. The claimant read the advertisement, purchased the smoke ball, and used it as direct. She contracted influenza and claimed her $100 reward. In their defense, the manufacturer argued against this, saying the offer was so vague that it could not form the basis of contract as no time limit was specified. It was not an offer which could be accepted since it was offered to the whole world. Decision: the court disagreed. The smoke ball must protect the user during the period of use. The offer was not vague.
Okay.
Okay, I was actually thinking that this company is right, but the decision is that. But to my understanding, I think they are saying that the company wanted anybody to try it, and they were saying that we will be giving £100 reward whoever will be trying our smoke balls. But what happened? That person started, but did not inform the company that I am starting to use this product. Later, he asked for the reward, and when they were saying it was not limited, we didn't know about it. It was like for the whole world. You would have told us earlier. So the court says no, you are bound to give. It was not vague. It was clear. So you have to now give $100 to the person.
Okay. Let's keep this case. Let's keep this case aside and let's talk about, do you think, Kinza, that advertisements can make as an offer or can be treated as an offer?
Yes.
How?
Because if, for example, advertisement is saying that you will be getting 20% off by this card, okay, you go to the restaurant and you'll be getting 20% off on HBL card. So obviously it's an offer. I will be going there straight away. I will buy, I will enjoy my meal. And later, if they says no, we don't mean it, or the advertisement was wrong, or whatever it is, so obviously they are bound.
What if you read the ad, you went and they refused?
Yeah, so they're wrong actually because they cannot refuse.
Then you will go to the court and sue them for it?
Yeah.
All right. Now see, the law states that any advertisement is not an offer. Full stop. It is an invitation to treat. It is what? It is an invitation to treat. Now, there was a case which we will be studying just shortly. There was a case where a person has a shop, okay, and he sells weapons. And he has displayed a weapon which is illegal to sell. He has displayed on the outer window so that everybody can see that weapon, and that particular weapon is illegal to be sold in the premises of UK. A customer comes in and he demands to buy that particular weapon, which is illegal.
Yeah.
So the shopkeeper refuses to sell. The shopkeeper says, "Sorry, sir, it is illegal. Sorry, sir, it is illegal to sell. I cannot sell it to you. It's not for purchase, it's not for sale." So the customer gets very angry. He says, "Why? I came into this shop just looking at that weapon because I was looking for it everywhere. Nobody has it. You have it, so I need it. So I'm purchasing it from you. Come on, sell it to me." And the shopkeeper refuses. Now, this man gets so frustrated, he goes to the court and sues him. He says that,
Mm.
look, he already put it on the display window and he's now saying that it's illegal to sell. Why? I mean to say, why are you even displaying it if you can't sell it?
Mm.
He has done very wrong. Please punish him. Now, what does the court say on this situation? The court says, okay, first he calls the shopkeeper and asks the shopkeeper that did you display it? He says yes. They ask why you displayed it. He says just to attract customers so that customer can come and I can
Or
invite.
maybe it's just for the license holder people, not for a general public.
Yeah, maybe. And then he says that it's just an invitation to treat. It's just to attract the customers to my shop. So that when they come in, I'll just say, sorry, that's not for sale, or maybe that's out of stock. So I'm showing you some very good latest technology weapons, right? So in UK, it has been given the permission or it is justified that you may show anything, say anything in the ad, and
Okay.
should not be treated as an offer. And everybody should know that it's just an invitation to treat, it's just an advertisement. And what is advertisement meant for? It's to attract customers. अब इतना
Okay.
एड में देखते हैं कि फला बिस्किट में बड़ा दूध की कैल्शियम विटामिन ये वो, डू यू एक्चुअली थिंक?
Up check. No. Yeah, you're right.
So
Now we sue the company कि नहीं इसमें तो ये sugar थी. Obviously we cannot do it.
because it's now it's acceptable by law, it has been given it has given permission by law that they can do.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the general rule. But as I stated earlier, that every general rule or law has an exception. There is always one exception to every general law or rule. And this Carlyle versus Carbolic smoke ball case is one of the exception.
Okay.
Okay, where they have put an advert on in a newspaper for a particular medicine, and they have
Hmm.
also stated a reward, and they have also said in the advertisement very clearly that they have already
That's for the whole world. Yeah.
that they have created a separate bank account and have deposited this amount in that bank account.
Yeah. To cater these people,
This particular
whoever will be filling it. Yeah.
this particular statement is showing sincerity. This particular statement is showing how serious they are, and it is an offer.
Okay.
Okay, so here,
Not just an invitation to treat.
exactly. So here the court says that now, sorry, all your defenses are not supporting because your advertisement was so detailed, was so
Yeah.
concise, was so clear, and बहुत वाजे तरीके से आपने खुद बोला है कि आप लोग बहुत सीरियस हो इसके बारे में. तो अब अगर किसी ने कर लिया है और आपको क्लेम कर रहा है, you have to accept and you have to, somebody has accepted your offer, so you are into the contract and now you are liable to pay £100 because he is saying that he got flu during the use of that particular medicine. So the offer was not vague, therefore it cannot be considered as just an invitation to treat.
Okay.
Next, please read this part.
Uh, decision. But you should note that Carl is an unusual case. In that advertisement are not usually regarded as offers. A statement which is vague cannot be an offer, but an apparently vague offer can be made certain by reference to previous dealing or customs.
Right. क्या कहना है?
They are telling us that it's just the exception. Otherwise, it's unusual. Most of the time, they are not very certain, very exact. in the advertisement, and they just go with the culture, whatever is doing in the country. So just go with the flow. It's not very on a very serious note.
अ स्टेटमेंट विच इज वेग, एक स्टेटमेंट जो वेग है, जो अभी उसमें डिटेल्स नहीं है, कैन नॉट बी एन ऑफर, वो ऑफर नहीं हो सकता। बट एन अपेरेंटली वेग ऑफर, यानी कि एक ऑफर जो ऑफर है और वो उतना क्लियर नहीं है, डिटेल्स में कमी है, जैसे आपने ये एडवर्टाइजमेंट में देखा कि इसमें एक डिटेल तो है कि 100 पाउंड, हमने 1000 पाउंड रख दिए हैं बैंक में, मगर दूसरी डिटेल ये नहीं है कि ये सिर्फ किस शहर के लोगों के लिए है और कितने दिन
Hmm.
तक वैलिड है, तो कुछ डिटेल्स,
Exactly.
पर कुछ डिटेल्स मौजूद है। सो अ वेग ऑफर कैन बी मेड सर्टेन बाय रेफरेंस टू प्रीवियस डीलिंग और कस्टम्स। तो अब ये ऑफर पक्का हो जाता है इसलिए क्योंकि जाहिर है कि अब आपने इसको एडवर्टीजमेंट की तरह तो नहीं क्रिएट किया, आपने तो उसको एक ऑफर की तरह क्यों स्पेसिफाई किया, क्यों उतनी डिटेल,
Hmm.
क्यों उतना
Exactly.
स्टेटमेंट दिया कि भाई हम तो सीरियस हैं, खुद ही लिखा है सीरियस है फिर बोल रही है।
Hmm.
राइट।
ठीक.
तो नाउ गन थिंग वर्सेस लिन। ऑलराइट, द फैक्ट्स। अब इस जुमले को या इस पैरा को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए इन्होंने ये केस स्टडी दी है, वन थिंग वर्सेस लिन 1831। द फैक्ट्स से दैट द ऑफरर ऑफर्ड टू पे a further sum for a horse if it was lucky, कि अगर ये घोड़ा लकी निकला मेरे लिए तो मैं कुछ और पेमेंट आपको दूंगा। ये उस
Hmm.
owner ने कहा। अब जो जो पर्सन था जो हॉर्स सेल कर रहा था, वो एक्साइटेड हो गया और उसने कहा हाँ हाँ ये है, तो दो पैसे। तो उसने कहा नहीं, कहाँ लकी है, लकी तो नहीं है। तो
Hmm.
कोर्ट में चला गया, सू कर दिया कि भाई इसने कहा था लकी होगा तो और पैसे देगा, अब वो लकी है वो पैसे।
Hmm.
तो दी
Just like हम कहते हैं I'll give you a treat, तो फिर that doesn't mean that we have to give a treat anyway. It's a contract.
तो द ऑफर वाज टू वीक एंड नो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कुड बी फॉर्म। टू वीक क्योंकि अब लकी का क्या मतलब है, लकी, लकी का मतलब
Hmm.
पूरा उछलेगा, उसके वो बोल पड़ेगा, लकी का क्या मतलब है,
Right. Exactly.
वो रेस जिता देगा, इट्स सो वेग। नाउ सप्लाई ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन वी हैव already talked about it. We have understood it pretty clearly. A statement of intention. What is a statement of intention? Please read.
Ma'am, the screen is not. Yeah, it's a statement of intention. Advertising that an event such as an auction will take place is not an offer to sell. Potential buyers may not sue the auctioneer if the auction does not take place. This is an example of statement of intention which is not auctionable. Okay, like if, for example, I'm saying, for example, somebody's just giving the platform for the buyer and sellers to meet and just planning up the auction. And later on, if he does not do that, so that does not mean that the people can sue him. Like if, for example, I'm putting up a stall in Karachi and later I do not go, I later I just change up my mind, I don't go there and put up my stall in Karachi. So that's okay, nobody can sue me.
एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली, होता है ना जज्बात में आके हम बोल देते हैं हाँ हाँ संडे को मेरी तरफ से ट्रीट, या संडे को मेरे घर खाने पे आ जाना, ये वो। बट
नहीं, वो संडे वुड बी अ स्पेसिफिक थिंग ना, ये तो एक जनरल अगर है तो डजंट मीन कि आप फिर बाउंड हो। अगर संडे बोला है तो देन आई थिंक यू विल बी बाउंड।
मैंने अनाउंस कर दिया ना, मैंने
संडे सब पहुंच जाएंगे।
बोला कि भाई संडे को मैं दूंगी। अब बातों बातों में हाँ मैं संडे को डिनर दूंगी, ठीक है, संडे को ट्रीट दूंगी, ठीक है। और आई एम नॉट इनवाइटिंग देम प्रॉपरली कि आप आ जाना संडे को, ऐसा नहीं, लेकिन मैं संडे को दूंगी, मैं संडे का प्लान करती हूँ, कुछ करती हूँ, एंड देन सडनली आई प्लान अ ट्रिप एंड आई लीव द सिटी ऑन संडे।
सब घर आए हुए होंगे।
तो जो घर आया भी वो सू नहीं कर सकता बेचारा, आके ठीक है, खुद पकाओ खुद खाओ, या मंगाओ फूड पांडा करो। नाउ एन इनविटेशन टू ट्रीट, where a party is initiating negotiations, they are said to have made an invitation to trade. For example, I am working in an institute, and the institute takes an initiative to crack a deal, and for that deal, it starts negotiating. That means स्टूडेंट्स को हम ऑफर देना शुरू करते हैं, ऑफर नहीं मतलब इनविटेशन टू ट्रीट देना शुरू करते हैं। हम बोलना शुरू करते हैं, आप आए, आप हमारे पास एग्जाम दें, आप हमारे पास एग्जाम के साथ क्रैश कोर्स भी करें, या फलाना कोर्स करें तो आपकी ये एग्जाम फीस कम हो जाएगी, या एग्जाम फीस दें तो फलानी चीज वो कम हो जाएगी, मतलब सब।
जनरली होता है 3 पेपर्स के लिए एनरोल करें तो यू विल गेट डिस्काउंट।
सो
इस
वी
तरह।
स्टार्ट सम काइंड ऑफ टॉक, वी स्टार्ट सम काइंड ऑफ टॉक। अच्छा आप एसीसी पढ़ रहे हो, अच्छा कहाँ से पढ़ रहे हो, अच्छा पैकेज चाहिए, अच्छा पैकेज है तो यहाँ लो ना, यहाँ तो बेस्ट है, या ये मतलब समथिंग लाइक दैट। वी स्टार्ट इट अप, we start the conversation, and anyone can does, and any business, every business does it. So when every business does it, it does not necessarily has to be an offer. It's a way to advertise, it's a way,
अट्रैक्टिंग, या
invitation to।
अट्रैक्टिंग द क्लाइंट।
देखो आपने कभी देखे है घर में हमारी जो अम्मियाँ होती हैं, दादियाँ होती हैं, ये क्या करते हैं, हम लोग पता नहीं क्यों ऐसा नहीं करते, बट दीज आर द पीपल, they come from the old generation where there was a lot of social interaction,
या
right? Now this social interaction, अब कुछ नहीं ना, अम्मी कहीं नहीं जाती हैं। I'll talk about my mom. She doesn't go out anywhere much. What she does, she opens the gate and she sits there. अब वो बैठी हुई है, अम्मी बैठी हुई है, आते जाते 100 लोग आ रहे हैं जा रहे हैं, किसी से भी गुफ्तगू शुरू हो जाएगी।
ट्रू।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, अरे आप कहाँ हैं, आप बड़े दिन हो गए, ये वो। सो गप लगनी शुरू हो गई। अब ये गप गप में क्या हो रहा है, इंफॉर्मेशन ट्रांसफर हो रही है। वो अपने दिन की कहानी बता रही है, ये अपने दिन की कहानी बता रही है, वो
अपने बच्चों की एक्टिविटीज वो अपने।
बच्चों की है, अपने बच्चों की। तो अब इससे हो क्या रहा है, उनको पता चल रहा है, अच्छा उनका बेटा डॉक्टर है, अच्छा वो तो ये बगल में रहते हैं, कभी कोई मसला हो, ईएनटी का कोई सीरियस मामला हो और सब जगह बंद हो, तो हम इन्हें बुला सकते हैं या हम इनके पास जा सकते हैं। तो एक इंफॉर्मेशन मिल गई। उनको ये पता चला कि अच्छा इनकी बेटी जो है वो पढ़ाती हैं, अच्छा स्कूल में भी पढ़ाती हैं, ट्यूशंस भी देती हैं, अच्छा। तो कभी उनके कोई कजन, कोई नवासा पोता पोती कोई हो तो मतलब उनको भी एक आइडिया हो गया। अब ये क्या हो रहा है, क्या ये ऑफर हो रही है, यहाँ पे एक्सेप्टेंस हो रही है, इट्स इनविटेशन टू ट्रीट, गप लग रही है।
या
इसी तरह
जस्ट
शादी,
इनफॉर्मल वे में।
इनफॉर्मल नहीं है, इसी तरह शादियों में भी होता है। इनविटेशन टू, लड़की किसी शादी में अटेंड करने जाती है, पूरी इनविटेशन टू ट्रीट होती है, वो एवरीबody is going to observe her top to bottom, and they are going to say हाँ this is also a prospective option for us, this that blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So that is invitation to treat cannot be accepted to form a binding contract. Examples of invitations to treat include auction sales, advertisements, exhibition of goods for sale, invitation for tenders. Now you have also often received, now let's talk on a corporate level. You must often have received emails from various different sectors operating in the market. Sometimes maybe you purchase a product from Daraz or somewhere, and then you start receiving the emails. What are those emails? They are invitations.
जस्ट,
That's
या
it.
जस्ट दे मार्केटिंग ईमेल्स, दे जस्ट अट्रैक्टिंग,
That
Wednesday we'll be offering you this
reminding,
early bird discounts.
just to keep you reminding that they are present in the market. You need help.
Yes,
Hello, Isha. Every second day I'm getting that email.
exactly, I hate it.
Hello, Isha, where are you? Hello, Isha, what are you doing? You did not purchase this. What happened? Leaving the
Your
office.
bucket is still waiting for you. You fill up your card. 3 items are still there.
The invitation to treat occurs where a party indicates that they are open to offers for entering into a contract. Right. So this is another way you can define invitation to treat. Auction sales. What is an offer? The bid itself is the offer. Who is giving this offer?
Bid. Bid is actually when there is auction going on and you say, okay, I agree. I'll be buying this specific thing on like $10,000. So it's a bid.
And
This is the bid is an offer. I agree that yes, I am bidding on it. And yes, if you give me, if the bid is final, the amount is final on this amount, then I am okay. I have the money and I'll pay. So it's a final offer.
exactly. So the bid
It's not an assumption.
which the auctioneer is free to accept or reject. Who is going to
Yeah.
accept or reject? The
Or
auctioneer.
auctioneer. Yeah.
Bidder is
I'm just placing my bid, but he has to accept it.
right. Next. An advertisement of goods for sale is usually an attempt to induce offer. So that the thing which you said, sale 25% off, ये वो, it's an attempt to induce offer. जाते ना हम दुकान में जाते हैं, अच्छा सिर्फ ये वाला रैक जो है ना ये सेल,
Exactly.
बाकी
And sif
प्राइस है नहीं।
starting few items are 50%, otherwise everything is 5%.
So okay, let's move ahead. Circulation of a price list is also invitation to treat. Can you tell me why?
A circulation of a price list. Okay, we just keep on changing the prices. Sometimes we are keeping the prices low, sometimes to increase the market value, sometimes we're just putting it high. So it's also our intention to treat. It doesn't mean that we are bound to follow the other person's prices. Then nobody can sue me whatever prices I'm putting up.
Right. Now, exhibition of goods for sale, displaying goods in a shop window, open shelves,
Yeah.
self-service shop, or advertising goods for sale are normally invitation to trade. Please remember these examples. Uh, in the exam, an example can be given and asked you that what is an invitation to trade, or which of the options are not is not an invitation to trade. So, open shelves, you're going to a supermarket, all the items are over there, placed over there. Do you think that's an offer?
Uh, the goods are there.
The goods are placed on the open shelves in the supermarket. You're going for grocery. Do you think the things on the shelf is an offer?
Yeah, we can buy it, but if the specific mart will say no, you cannot buy this, it's not for sale, then of course I have to follow.
So that's not an offer. That is invitation.
It's just yeah, they're just attracting the customers with it.
When you pick that item up, you are giving the offer that I want to purchase this at the price you have quoted. And then when the person at the cash counter he accepts it and he registers it or knocks the sale, then it means he has accepted it and you can buy it.
But offer actually, I'm getting it from them that this is £5 offer. If you want to get this avocado, you can get it for £5. I'm just picking it up. I'm accepting the offer and going to the till and paying it.
Yes, logically, what you're saying is absolutely right. But if we treat this as an offer, then we have to treat that thing which is kept on the window shelf on the as a display, that illegal weapon. Then we have to treat
Yeah,
that also the same way as an offer. Then why did you keep it over there? It's an offer. When
yeah,
I
okay.
want to accept it, you're not willing to sell it.
And sometimes it happens when we are going for the medicines are there, but we cannot buy it. They say, no, you're not, you don't have the prescription or your age. Sometimes it happens. So that means it's not an offer for everyone. They will look into it that are they giving you the offer or not.
Okay, so I hope this makes it clear. Uh, you can go through the cases. This case is the same as we discussed Fisher versus Bell, the illegal weapon one, offensive weapon. Oh, now invitation for tenders. What is invitation for tenders? What is a tender? Please read.
A tender is an offer to supply specified goods or services at a stated cost or rate, submitted in response to prior invitation for tenders by the purchaser. When a supplier tenders for a contract, they are making an offer to the purchaser who has advertised a contract as being available.
Right. Can you
The
explain?
tender is actually the offer now. It is the offer that, yes, I have agreed. Like, for example, if I'm buying a property, so now we have just agreed on the same amount. I agree that this is the rate, this is the cost, the current rate. If I'm buying gold, this is the current rate, and I agree. And whatever I have been the previous invitation for tenders, for a previous like invitation, the attractions. Now I have agreed to it. This.
Okay, now please understand this. Uh, there is an individual A. He is owning a supermarket, okay, and he is looking for some supplier जिसके साथ इसका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो जाए और हर हफ्ते जो है वो उसको माल भेजे. He has found out email IDs of 5 suppliers in the market who supply supermarkets. So what he did, he sent an email in which he sent an invitation to tender. He says that
Okay.
I have just opened a new supermarket in this area. I have a capacity of 50 shelves. 10 शेल्फ्स में मुझे ग्रोसरी रखवानी है, 10 शेल्फ्स में मुझे खाने पीने कपड़ों का रखवाना है, और बाकी 10 शेल्फ्स में मुझे फ्रोजन आइटम्स रखवाने हैं, और बाकी 10 शेल्फ्स में मुझे मेडिसिन रखवाने हैं. तो सेंड मी अ टेंडर. So what A is doing, A is asking for a tender. That means he is sending an invitation to tender.
Okay.
He is saying that I am available to get into a contract with any of you 5 prospective people whoever will be giving me a better tender, I will be accepting that tender.
Okay.
Okay. So now these 5 suppliers will create a tender as per his requirements with the quotation and everything, and will.
Yeah, with the price and everything. Yeah.
तो जब वो ईमेल करेंगे तो अब जो वो टेंडर ईमेल करेंगे, that becomes an offer.
Okay.
That tender which will be sent by these 5 suppliers B, C, D, E will be treated as an offer.
Offer. And now it's to the company A that which one he choose.
Which one he choose, which one he accepts.
Yeah.
फिर अब सवाल में कंफ्यूजन यही होती है कि कहीं पे इनविटेशन टू टेंडर का वर्ड इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा और कहीं पे सिर्फ टेंडर लिखा जाएगा. ठीक है. तो यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्लियर कि इनविटेशन टू टेंडर परचेजर सेंड कर रहा है, परचेजर पूछ रहा है, परचेजर डिमांड कर रहा है.
Okay.
और
And when it's tender, the tender is giving the offer.
the offer given by the suppliers.
Okay.
Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Moving ahead, the effect of an invitation to tender depends on the wording used. Now, please read. What are the 2 points?
If the invitation states that the purchaser will require the successful supplier to supply them, usually a large one-off supply, then acceptance of the tender by the purchaser will form a binding contract. If the invitation states that the purchaser may require the successful supplier to supply them, then acceptance by the purchaser of the supplier's offer creates a standing offer. Okay, if they are saying will, then of course it's a acceptance. But if they are saying may require, that means it's a standing offer. They are considering it.
Yes, यानी अभी accept नहीं हुआ है, अभी वो consider.
We are looking into it. Yeah.
ठीक है. Please read this definition just to lock it.
A standing offer means that the purchaser does not have to buy any goods from the supplier, but may not purchase goods from another supplier. Any purchase orders that the purchaser make are separate acceptance that from separate contracts, and delivery must be made within the time stated in the standing offer. Unless there is a binding obligation to keep it open for a certain period of time, the supplier may revoke a standing offer at any time but must fulfill any order placed, since these created constructional obligations. Okay, they're saying that if it's a standing offer, then the purchaser is not bound to purchase, but he has to make quick decisions because the other person is obviously waiting for them, because he is still considering. And if in that time period he has bought something, so he has the obligation that he have to fulfill whatever. Like for example, it was a standing order, and I was supposed to give 100 orders, but now, for now I have given 2 orders. So if I'm not purchasing like the 100 orders from that specific tender, but 2 orders I have already placed, so I have to fulfill that requirement and then move ahead.
Okay, please make it very clear. कहते किस standing offer means मैंने we were creating a lab, okay, CBE lab. I was involved in the designing and the, all the making the it happen. So I saw that we required 100 chairs. So we had to place order of 100 chairs with some supplier. So we emailed to a few suppliers to ask them the rate so that we can compare and we can see which one is offering us the best offer. So we found that okay, एक supplier के साथ setting बन गई that he is offering us at a reasonable price and a good quality, and he is also agreeing कि वो हमें deliver कर देंगे, and they were also giving us some credit facility कि अभी आप advance थोड़ा सा दे दे, फिर आप आराम से 2 महीने बाद दे दीजिएगा. So they were giving us some credit facility as well. But right now my lab was under construction and everything was a mess. I could have placed the order right away and the chairs could have come within 5 days. But I knew that within 5 days the my area is not ready, my lab is not ready. So I did not give the order, but I said, okay, done. But I would be needing the chairs, not right now. I would let you know. But we would be purchasing from you, that's for sure. Okay, so this deal is locked. Okay, please keep the 100 chairs available. Within next 3 months, we can place the order any day. तो अब ये क्या हो गया, स्टैंडिंग ऑफर हो गया. ऑफर आई थी, मैंने एक्सेप्ट भी की, मगर कोई कंसिडरेशन नहीं दी है, उसको स्टैंड करा के रखे कि रुको 3 महीने में मैं कभी भी तुम्हें कॉल करके बोलूंगी हाँ भाई चेयर्स भिजवा दो. राइट, सो नाउ दिस इज स्टैंडिंग ऑफर. ओके, नाउ अगर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में मेंशन्ड है कि अगर आपने 3 महीने के अंदर नहीं मंगवाया तो ये ऑफर ऑटोमेटिकली नलिफाई हो जाएगा.
तो
ठीक.
फिर उसका तो लॉस हो जाएगा चेयर वाले.
चेयर वाले का लॉस क्यों होगा, उसका लॉस नहीं होगा.
उसने इतना और कस्टमर्स को नहीं दिया एंड ही वाज सेविंग द चेयर्स फॉर यू.
उसका लॉस इसलिए नहीं होगा क्योंकि देखो, दैट्स फॉर श्योर दैट ही लॉक द चेयर्स फॉर मी फॉर द 3 मंथ्स. बट देखो, इनकी सेटिंग होती है, अगर कोई और कस्टमर आएगा भी ना तो वो ऐसा थोड़ी, उनका तो चेयर का कारोबार है, वो तो मैन्युफैक्चर ही चेयर कर रहे हैं. तो उन उन
ओके.
ऑलवेज हैव द प्रोडक्ट, दैट्स देयर वर्क. मगर उनका इसमें बेनिफिट ये है कि 3 मंथ्स बाद, अगर मैंने 3 मंथ्स के बाद उन्हें ऑर्डर किया तो फिर वो कोटेशन में चार्जेस बढ़ा सकते हैं कि अब तो इन्फ्लेशन हो गई.
ओके ओके ओके.
अगर वो ज्यादा टाइम
मतलब
तक.
this price is only valid for 3 months. Later, if you just come back later after 3 months, then it's going to be different
Yes,
according to the new market price. Okay, okay.
that's what standing offer does.
Yeah. Okay. Just like we go to the jeweler and he says, okay, for today, this is my offer. But if you come tomorrow, then it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same.
Exactly. ठीक है. So now next, termination of offer. How you can terminate an offer? Number one, you can just simply say no. You
Yeah.
you instead of saying no, you can say, okay, I offer you this. Okay, what if you sell me this at this price. He is offering you to be so to sell that particular product at $10,000, and you're offering no. How about $8,000? Or how about I pay you $8,000 and the remaining $2,000 I pay you after 6 months. Any kind of counter offer, the person.
Or any kind of alteration, just
Exactly.
giving up the other options.
Exactly. Lapse of time. लैप्स ऑफ टाइम मीन्स वक्त खत्म हो गया, डेडलाइन खत्म हो गई, ये ऑफर सिर्फ 10 दिनों के लिए था. आई हैड दिस वर्कशॉप एंड दिस वर्कशॉप वाज फॉर दैट टाइम पीरियड. नाउ द ऑफर इज खत्म हो गया, खत्म.
Finished.
नेक्स्ट, revocation of the offerer. Revocation, that means I offered you to sell my car, and then you said that okay, I am willing to buy your car, but then I said that no, sorry, my mind has changed,
I've changed up my mind. Yeah.
I don't want to sell my car anymore. Next, failure of a condition to which the offer was subject. वो कंडीशन फुलफिल नहीं हुई तो वो ऑफर खत्म हो गया. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, पेरेंट्स यूजुअली ब्राइब देयर चिल्ड्रन कि अगर तुम्हारे 80% आ गए क्लास में तो हम आपको फलानी चीज लेकर देंगे आपकी बर्थडे पे. तो 80% तो आए नहीं, तो वो चीज भी नहीं आएगी. ठीक है.
Okay.
डेथ ऑफ वन ऑफ द पार्टीज. कोई एक
Yeah. वो
पार्टी.
तो वही है. Hmm.
ठीक है. So I hope all of this is pretty much clear and you can go through the cases, and these are interesting cases, easy to understand. Right. Now this case, this statement. Revocation of offer may be communicated by any third party who is sufficiently reliable informant. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल वही बात होगी, एक तो रिश्ता भेजा आपने मना कर दिया, ठीक है। अब दूसरा ये हो सकता है कि रिश्ता भेजा, आपने उस वक्त मना नहीं किया, मगर आपने थर्ड पार्टी के थ्रू मना करवा दिया कि ताकि हमें इंसल्ट भी फील ना हो और खामोशी से।
Hmm.
लेकिन अब बात यह है कि वो थर्ड पार्टी रिलायबल पार्टी होनी चाहिए, सफिशिएंटली रिलायबल
Hmm.
होना चाहिए,
Exactly.
ऐसे ही नहीं। अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर किन्जा
Like
अचानक,
if somebody comes to me and they say, "My Misha is saying I'm not conducting classes anymore," I will not agree. I will not agree to the third party. But if Ma'am Bushra will come to me, or any other teacher with whom I know, or your institute will say, then obviously I will agree that I will say yes, this is the right.
yes, this information is valid. All
Yeah.
right. Failure of a condition, termination by death, right. Okay, so today we are keeping till here offer, because it's a long chapter. Acceptance as a whole new story, whole new set of laws. Okay, so we shall continue this tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, any questions still here?
Okay. No, ma'am. I'll just go through the cases today and I'll ask if I have any questions.
Yes. Okay, do go through the cases. They are interesting because
Yeah.
tomorrow there'll be another bunch of cases for acceptance.
Yeah. I'll go through.
Okay.
Okay.
Great day, Allah Hafiz.
You too. Allah.